Hello everyone, I'm David Scher with Computers Unlimited, and I'm joined today with Megan Goldammer, product owner at Computers Unlimited. Well, I think what we'd like to do today is give a fairly high-level overview of the product and the key parts of that application. So I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks, David. It's Tim's Patient Subscriptions, and what we aim to do with this application is help you manage your resupply business. So what we've done is take the subscription service model, which is super popular right now. You see it on Amazon and all kinds of e-commerce sites, where you enroll your patient into a subscription for their resupplies. Now we know with the HME business, we can't just auto ship like Amazon does. We have a series of compliancy checks we need to do beforehand, and we need to get patient confirmation. So there's a lot of hoops to jump through, but what we aim to do with this app is automate as many of those pieces as we possibly can. So really we've got four parts. One is auto-enroll the patient in their subscription for their resupply. Two is automate those quality checks that we need to do prior to shipment. Three, automate that patient contact piece as much as we can. And then number four is auto ship or e-drop ship the supplies once you have a qualified and confirmed order.
So really all of these steps, they all flow right together. They're not separate applications or third parties. It's all within the application, all within TIM. So we're really doing a fantastic job of connecting all the dots of that business process.
Right. And with that automation, I want to reduce touch points. So our goal here is to reduce the touch points by 80%. So if you're humming along and you've got your patients enrolled in auto communications like texting, and you're working your renewals and you're doing, you're staying ahead of the game, we want 80% of these orders to go through without any human being having to touch them. So your staff is not having to touch and qualify and confirm every order. 20%, they'll work the exceptions instead of every order.
That's going to be huge labor savings.
Yes, it is. So to start, let's just touch on the auto enrollment piece. Here you can see this is our intake application. When that brand new patient comes in the door, you're qualifying and getting that patient set up in the system. That initial order is actually going to spawn the subscription resupply orders as well. And we'll do that automatically based on billing rules. The frequency we pull from the billing rule as well. So if the payer will let you set up a 90-day resupply order rather than monthly, obviously, we'd all prefer that. So we bring that information into the system and auto-enroll them in the frequency that makes sense for that payer.
So really this whole thing can start right within patient intake, that application. So this is just another great feature of intake, is now handling the subscription side of the equation.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. All right, the second piece is the automated qual checks. So under the hood, TIM's automatically every night is 28 days ahead of that next coming order. We're gonna start our quality checks. So we're going to look at the account status. Is the patient hospitalized, or are they active? Are there any billing holds on the account, rental holds? We're also going to look at eligibility checks. So are they still covered by that insurance that they had last month? Utilization, making sure that we're not over shipping product. And then of course, supporting documentation from the physician, making sure that script is still current and you still have current payer authorization if required.
And when I take a look at this list, the employee doesn't have to do this. Software is doing it for them. Right. So all this great business intelligence and logic for these qualification checks is done by the software.
Right. And it's been a few years to get to this point, but we really have a robust billing system. All that information is already housed in TIM's. We're just taking advantage of it now.
Fantastic.
So again, 80% hopefully of your orders are going to fly through. We will have your customer service staff work from a dashboard, the exceptions. So if there is a problem with the account status or eligibility, or that patient does need to see the doctor again for a current script, we'll serve up that work in a dashboard. This is a very popular look to driving work to people. You can see with these dashboards, it's really popular for management because at any point in time, they can look at this screen and see what's going on with their resupply business, what's holding, if there's any bottlenecks. And then it's also really popular for the staff because they come in and they know exactly what they need to do every day.
Right.
It's served up to them.
I mean, there's no guesswork. I look at this dashboard, I can see green, that's good, it's ready to go. Red, we have issues. Blue, we have different categories. So right now, if I needed to reallocate the workload, now I have perspective on what's the work that has to be done, and now if I have to shift it to another team member, I know what that impact is going to be.
Right, exactly. Yep. And if there is, higher numbers in one of these categories than others, what's the issue here? Is there something that we can do to prevent that and kind of keep these numbers low as we go through month to month? We're doing these compliance checks 28 days ahead of time. Another big benefit of this is there's no interruption in service for your patient. So today, a lot of times I see companies, they'll wait until the patient confirmation period to contact the patient, then they qualify the order, and if there's something wrong, like the patient now needs to see their doctor to get that script renewed, now they have to call their doctor and schedule that, and it may mean an interruption in service, unless you want to ship without having that compliancy documentation, which we don't recommend. So it's a big benefit for people. And you can see again that the service is going to run each night and automate these. So in this example we're showing here, it did pass its other checks just fine. It's just this documentation issue that we are having. So we give the patient plenty of notice to go take care of it if that's the case that needs to happen ahead of the scheduled order.
Sure. What I like about this screen is, plus it gives you information right at a glance. So the color-coded tabs, so we know if it's green, it's good. If it's red, there's an issue. So again, here comes that training element. We make it very, very easy. We really lower the whole effort that's required to use this product.
Absolutely, absolutely. The fourth piece of this is the patient contact. So we need to reach out to the patient and get confirmation that they actually do need their supplies. This is a pretty common requirement for insurance billing. So we can't, again, just auto ship. But what we can do is enroll the patient in a communication method that they prefer. And we've had this in place for a couple years on our system. Now we're able to really, truly leverage it. So you may have staff that really just wants that personal touch. They want someone from your office reaching out and calling them. And for those people, those patients, that's no problem. We'll serve that up on a work list for your people to manage that contact process. And you'll be able to see kind of, this is an example of that work list where we're logging the contact attempts. So if the patient responds or didn't respond, if we need to escalate, things like that is all leveraged here for you. But it would just be a simple work list as you go through and kind of get that confirmation from the patient. And
then with the work list, that's another real common application in TIM. So we have this dynamic work list. The individual works one item at a time. We're able to measure and monitor productivity.
Absolutely.
How many times did they call? How many times was this item worked? So it's just great metrics that go along with a great process.
Absolutely, yes. We're very, very conscious to be storing all activity around this upcoming order so that you can report off of it and hopefully improve your business and efficiencies. We also want to get patients enrolled in texting as much as we can. So we are storing, they want a personal call versus a text message versus an automated call, like an IVR call or an email. And we want to get integration points into all of those. The first two, though, the phone call and the text, are the overwhelmingly more popular choices right now. Even in the older patient demographics, people are really gravitating toward text. It's less intrusive for both your staff and the patient. They can reply back when it's convenient for them, and it's super cheap to send a text message versus pay an employee to call and contact these patients. The phone call answering rate can be as low as 30%.
That low?
Yeah, but a text, I think the response rate on text is more like 90%. So they've agreed, they sign a waiver, they say, yeah, go ahead and text me about my upcoming orders. It's the way that they prefer to communicate. So it's beneficial for both sides. Our first cut of this, we will allow you to integrate with a company like, for example, Twilio, using a flat file. But coming up, hopefully in the next couple releases, is the true text-to-patient integration, where that text will be originating from TIMS. It'll say, hey patient, this is ABC Medical contacting you about your upcoming CPAP order due out the 15th. Do you want it? They text back yes, and we mark it as confirmed in the system.
So really, there's multiple ways to contact the patient. It could be by phone call, by email, texting is very popular these days. And on texting, what we want to do is just leverage different platforms so that our customers have a lot of flexibility.
Yes.
And which one do they want to use?
Absolutely. Yep. Integration will be agnostic to the vendor. So it would just be a simple programming change to add that API for that new vendor. But we're currently exploring different vendors as we speak and kind of narrowing down on one. I don't want to say too soon, but we'll have that ready. Yeah, stay tuned. All right, so fourth piece is auto creating that order, or e-drop ship if you're shipping straight from the vendor to the patient. So once we have a qualified and confirmed order, hopefully that'll be done ahead of the next delivery date. So you'll get that confirmation as early as 10 days prior to the delivery date, and then those will sit in that ready for delivery tile until it's time to ship. And again, our system is going to handle this automatically for you at night. It's not a user pushing a ship button. We'll just create those orders. If it's an order that needs to be sent to the warehouse, that stack will be waiting for your warehouse in the morning when they come in. Or if it's e-drop ship, we'll create that electronic purchase order and send it to the vendor for you.
So another example of reducing your labor costs, reducing or eliminating manual entry of that data.
Yes, exactly. So again, assuming that that order passes its qual checks, the patient texts back they want it, it just goes to that ready for delivery tile and sits there, waits for shipment, and no one has to touch it.
So to summarize, Megan, it looks like we got a great product. We're excited to get it out there with our customers. And so just to recap, we got 4 key areas: auto enrollment, automated qual checks, patient contact, and ship qualified orders automatically.
Yes. Great.
So for more information, if anyone wants to know, deeper dive for a demo, we can do that as well.
Yes, always happy to talk to anyone who's interested or provide that demo for a deeper dive.